1. Breaking, Steelers exploring TJ Watt trade value amid contract standoff. 2. TJ Watt contract standoff, why Steelers are hesitating NFL insider report. 3. TJ Watt trade rumors and Steelers contract battle potential trade return explained. 1. Breaking, Steelers exploring TJ Watt trade value amid contract standoff. Imagine this: your favorite football team is secretly considering trading their star player. But here's where it gets controversial: they are not just thinking about it, they are actively trying to figure out how much they could get for him. Welcome to the murky world of NFL negotiations, where nothing is ever quite as simple as it seems. Let's dive in. There's a fascinating dynamic at play when it comes to how reporters convey information. When they put pen to paper, or rather, fingers to keyboard, they are meticulous and careful. But when they are speaking off the cuff, like on a radio show or podcast, they tend to be more relaxed and spontaneous. This discrepancy can lead to some intriguing insights, as we are about to see. Enter Mark Kaboly, the Steelers correspondent for the Pat McAfee Show. He recently dropped a bombshell that has fans and analysts alike scratching their heads. The question at hand: are the Pittsburgh Steelers seriously considering trading their star linebacker, TJ Watt, amidst an ongoing contract dispute? Let's break it down. On Friday, Kaboly tweeted, "There have been no inquiries made to other teams about trading Watt, according to sources." Pretty straightforward, right? But then, earlier that same day, on 93.7 The Fan, he said something that seems to contradict his tweet. When discussing what the Steelers might get in return for Watt, Kaboly mentioned, they are obviously inquiring to see what that might be. And this is the part most people miss: he's talking about due diligence. You see, officially, the Steelers haven't reached out to other teams about trading Watt. Unofficially, they are having conversations to gauge his potential trade value. It's like window shopping, but for football players. They are just looking, not necessarily buying. And that makes perfect sense. Think about it. The recent report from NFL media didn't say, "There's no way they'll ever trade him." It said they have no intention to trade him. That's a big difference. It means Watt isn't untouchable. And history has shown us that teams often change their minds. Just look at the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, the Bills and Josh Allen, or the Bengals and Joe Burrow. No intention doesn't mean never. So what's the endgame here? If the Steelers do decide to trade Watt, they'll need to find a team willing to make him happy financially and give the Steelers enough to part ways with their most valuable player. And this is where it gets tricky. The Steelers are all in on winning a playoff game, and Watt is a huge part of that equation. The due diligence could be a strategic move to tell Watt, "Look, TJ, no one else is going to give you what you want and what we want." It's a high-stakes game of poker, and the Steelers are trying to figure out their best hand. They could even give Watt permission to shop himself, like the Bengals did with Trey Hendrickson. It's a risky move, but it could pay off big time. In the end, it all comes down to this: will Watt accept the Steelers' best offer before Week 1? Will he settle for less than Myles Garrett's $40 million per year? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure: the Steelers are leaving no stone unturned in their quest to find out what fair trade value would be, just in case they need to explore that option more carefully. So, what do you think? Are the Steelers playing a clever game of chicken, or are they genuinely considering trading Watt? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. And remember, in the world of NFL negotiations, nothing is ever quite as simple as it seems. Stay tuned, folks, because this story is far from over. 2. TJ Watt contract standoff, why Steelers are hesitating NFL insider report. ***, the Pittsburgh Steelers are in a contract conundrum with TJ Watt ***. Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Steelers seem to be in a never-ending cycle of high-stakes contract negotiations. Just as the Aaron Rodgers contract saga finally came to a close, the Steelers find themselves in another critical contract discussion with their star edge rusher, TJ Watt. Watt is in the final year of his contract, and the Steelers need to act swiftly, as delaying could mean a higher price tag down the line. But here's where it gets interesting. Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk has shed some light on why Watt's contract talks are dragging on. Florio suggests that the Steelers are hesitating due to Watt's dip in performance towards the end of last season and his lack of significant stats in crucial moments. That's the general consensus around the league, Florio explained. Why are the Steelers taking so long? Why is there a sense of a gap in negotiations? You don't pay a player for what he's done in the past. If you do, you're setting yourself up for trouble. The NFL isn't a "what have you done for me lately" league anymore. It's about what you're doing right now and what you're expected to do in the future. That's what determines the pay. While it's true that Watt's performance slipped late last season, let's not forget that he has consistently proven himself as one of the top players in his position throughout his career. It might be short-sighted for the Steelers not to offer him a deal, but there's also a case to be made for the potential benefits of a trade. And this is the part most people miss: the Steelers are in a tough spot. They need to weigh Watt's past performance against his future potential and make a decision that could significantly impact the team's dynamics. So, what do you think? Should the Steelers extend Watt's contract based on his proven track record, or is it time for them to consider a trade? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned to Steelers on SI for all your daily Pittsburgh Steelers news, interviews, breakdowns, and more. 3. TJ Watt trade rumors and Steelers contract battle, potential trade return explained. Imagine this: one of the NFL's most dominant defensive players, TJ Watt, potentially being traded by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sounds shocking, right? But here's where it gets controversial: what if the team decides that holding on to him isn't worth the financial strain? While no trade is expected at this moment, whispers about such a scenario are growing louder as contract negotiations between Watt and the Steelers remain unresolved. If things spiral further before training camp begins, moving on might become an unavoidable reality. According to Steelers insider Mark Kaboly, if talks hit what he calls the point of no return, Watt could fetch the Steelers a second-round draft pick in a hypothetical trade. On a recent appearance with 93.7 The Fan, Kaboly explained that while the organization isn't actively shopping Watt, they are certainly exploring their options behind the scenes. They are obviously inquiring to see what that return might be, Kaboly noted. If it gets to the point where it's truly irreparable, maybe that second-round pick starts looking pretty attractive. So why has this situation escalated to such a tipping point? For starters, Watt wants to secure his place as the highest-paid non-quarterback in the league, a title that aligns with his incredible contributions over the past 8 seasons. However, the Steelers don't seem ready to meet those demands, creating a significant disconnect between player and franchise. This tension echoes previous disputes, like the one from 2021 when Watt signed a 4-year, $112 million extension averaging $28 million annually. Back then, CBS Sports NFL insider Aditi Kinkhabwala revealed how starkly different the perspectives were during negotiations. She recounted how Watt was told, "You're fortunate to be a Steeler," to which he famously replied, "You're fortunate to have me." It's clear the Steelers view playing for their storied franchise as a privilege, one that should come with loyalty and perhaps even a hometown discount. But does that mindset still hold water in today's NFL? Adding fuel to the fire, Watt recently skipped mandatory minicamp this summer, signaling his seriousness about securing a new deal. With the final year of his current contract set to kick off in 2025, time is ticking for both sides to find common ground. Unfortunately for Pittsburgh, the trade market for Watt isn't shaping up to be particularly favorable. As Kaboly pointed out, if you're just testing the waters to gauge interest, you're probably not going to get as much value as you'd hope. A second-rounder might actually feel like hitting the jackpot. Let's take a step back and appreciate what Watt brings to the table. He's been named to 7 consecutive Pro Bowls and led the league in sacks 3 times since 2020, including tying the single-season record with 22.5 sacks in 2021. His impact on defense is undeniable, making him one of the most valuable assets in football. Yet, the question remains, what exactly is that worth to the Steelers? Reports suggest Watt is aiming for a deal comparable to Myles Garrett's blockbuster extension this offseason, which averages $40 million per year. Is Pittsburgh willing or able to make that kind of investment? As the calendar inches closer to training camp, which starts on July 23, pressure mounts for both parties to resolve this standoff. ESPN's Adam Schefter weighed in earlier this week, stating that while the Steelers have zero intention of trading Watt, other teams have reportedly shown interest in acquiring him. Something has to give, Schefter emphasized. You can't say, "We want to keep this guy so desperately," and simultaneously be miles apart in negotiations. This leads us to a thought-provoking question: should the Steelers prioritize keeping Watt at all costs, or is it time to consider alternatives for the future of their defense? And here's the part most people miss: how do fans factor into this equation? After all, many supporters share the team's sentiment that wearing the black and gold is a badge of honor. But in an era where star players often chase top-dollar deals elsewhere, should tradition outweigh modern market dynamics? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Watt deserves the massive payday he's seeking, or should the Steelers cut ties if the price tag becomes too steep? Share your opinions below.